Hello everyone. A bit of a different video today. I thought I would give you all a guide on how to play a game that I play a lot. Because I've heard from people that a bit difficult. So we're going to do it as a very easy to play country. I cannot decide which. Let's go with Russia. Let's go normal mode, conflict. You're not going to put on randomized AI, but I just like the territory fog, so I'm going to enable it. So, country balls at war. Base level isn't that complicated, but it's the micromanagement that is. So, if you start off in conflict, you've got historical borders, and you are expected to pick out some territories. So, you start off this sort of screen. So, at the top, we've got your happiness, your money, your allies, your enemies, your puppets, and your either diplomacy or attack points. Here we've got power, army size, territories, battles. And over here we've got your different materials. These will be very, very, very important to manage. As, you know, you got shit to do, man. You can't just let the Russian Empire fall or whatever the fuck you're playing. I don't know what you're playing. Neither will I dictate that for you. So you've got your resources up. All do different important things. At the beginning of the game, you need some leather. You're going to need some wood. Okay, then you go on to government, where you get some information, blah, 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 no one cares. You got management. Now, you have to keep your money up, your happiness up, and your food to the point where you still actually get food. So, if the happiness is too low for too long, then rebellions will break out. You're only allowed, 3 rebellions until something bad happens? Which I will demonstrate, because I don't actually know what happens. You got your objectives here, which is very easy. You got your reports, which I never read, so to grab wasteland territory, you just tap on them, press this button, press apply, and you've got it. Now, you can enter territories. There's an artillery depot where you can get cannons and stuff. I think there will be more of them. Barracks where you can, get some stuff if you're in here. And then the academy where you can spend your diamonds to get stuff. So here I'm going to get some extra food. Obviously, some of the most important stuff, it would be army. Start off with some villagers if you play on a normal or easy mode. I'm not sure about easy mode. I've never actually played this game on easy mode. On hard mode, you don't get any starting army. You've just got to work from what you got. Your queue is what you've got. Recruit. That's basically where you can upgrade troops. So I don't have the leather, so I can't do that. And you can see what each one of them does. Increases the range, attack power, the people, the attack time, the health, all that sort of good stuff. And then you get to your tech tree, which is very good. So obviously you start with the villager, then you get the militia, then you have choices. You get your close range ones, that's just the pikemen and the mounted pikemen, and you got your musketeers and grenadiers. But the tech tree is different for every single country. Like the Chinese won't have the same tech tree as the Egyptians, or the French won't have the same ones as the Americans. Will be pretty similar though. And then you've got your diplomacy tab, where you can see all the neutral countries. There are a lot of them for me at the moment. But I think I want to make friends with... I don't know. If I want to be friends with Switzerland, let's say, click on Switzerland, and this tick means that they're eligible for an ally request, so you just send that. If they're not, there'll be an X. So I've got Switzerland ally now. And if you go onto the Alliances tab, you see the Russian Empire-Switzerland Alliance. So the more friends that you have, and the more friends that Switzerland's have, the more that will be added to. And then you've got your common enemies, which we'll get onto later. And then, of course, as all of these SHN games has, at least all the country ball related ones, you can declare war on people. So either you don't like someone, or they're attacking your ally, or whatnot, or maybe you just want to conquer them, like I do a lot. Should probably not do that. You can conquer them. So say, I don't like. Yeah, I don't know. So let's go Vietnam. I don't like Vietnam, so I declare war. And Switzerland's come to help me out because they are my ally. So, as both my attack points and my diplomacy points took up, because the attack points use on capturing wasteland territories. So you want to press on that timer, it ends the turn, and you can see what everyone else is doing. My happiness has decreased because, you know, I was a bad boy. So, combat. Now this is an interesting one. Let me just upgrade my troops here to level 3. Combat is an interesting one. We'll get onto that later because my troops need to upgrade. As you can see, other countries are doing whatnot, blah 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 blah. So now that I've got level 3 villagers as compared to their level 1 villagers probably. So if you go in a territory and it's flashing like that, that means you can take over it. So just press on that, press on this, press yes. And once you've created the battle, you can't stop the battle. So here, you can call for your allies, your puppets. You can call them, and then here you have the military that they've sent, which is good. And then you can see the enemy military and their allies. You can send your own units. And then you go into this screen, it gives you a little progress bar to see how likely you are to win with sheer strength. However, sometimes if you have melee units and ranged units, it all comes down to strategy. So, as you've done, so you've added all your troops, press on the thing, you press start combat. Now, the battlefield is quite big. Sometimes you'll find country balls lying around here, get other playable countries. But we cannot because I've already got Vietnam. So, you can move around troops and stuff. You can say if you put a troop down but you don't want in there, you can do that. Obviously, we want our Russian troops at the forefront because, yep. So you have commands here like stop, go backwards, go forwards, attack, don't attack, hide that. You've got the surrender, which will, you just run away, and then you've got this, which speeds up the battle. And you can pause at any time if you want. So now we've got the territory and we've got to level 2. What does that mean? You might think, probably don't. That means we've got another diamond, so we can go and spend that in the academy. We don't have to spend that in Russian academies. If you've got an ally, say Switzerland, and oh, look, would you look at that? It's a unique looking country ball. Wonder what would happen if I were to tap on it. Oh, I did not realise that. If your allies do have diamonds or your puppets or whatever, you can force them to research stuff. Interesting. I will take that into account. Go to the Russian Academy, and we'll get ourselves a militia. This is, you'll see where strategy comes into play then. And you don't really have used to being at war with Vietnam, so just offer them peace. See how combat worked. Yeah, when you break it down, the game is simple, but when you're thrown in, you don't know nothing, it can be a bit complicated, and I understand that. However, once you've played it a couple times, you know what's going on. You know, when you start to understand, it's not all that complicated, really. But allies will make you stronger. You'll get more friends in case of war. So as you see, I've just made friends with the Austrians and the Italians. ones. So if I wanted to go to war with the Prussians, I could do that. Because now I have, unfortunately, only the support of Italy. But say maybe the HRE, the support of Switzerland, Italy. I don't think Austria's too keen on helping me in wars just yet, but that's fine. So you can call them in, you can send your own troops. So, if these Austrian troops were to fight the Prussian troops, they'd die instantly. But now that we've got Russian ones, we've got a Russian, essentially arrangement to help, it shouldn't be too difficult. Oh, I forgot to stop the Austrian troops as well. As you can see, there's the additional damage from the musket there. So if we speed it up, the Austrian troops are more likely to win. The only reason that the villager died there is that I was a bit too late to save them. Which is really unfortunate. We know Austria lost some troops, but that's fine. And sometimes you don't need an army or any friends to win a battle. And sometimes the enemy doesn't have an army in the first place, which, as you could see, has just happened here. Now, if allies do join the war, they will attempt to take territory. You can support them if you wish. I have not supported my allies many a time before, so I could take more territory because I'm a greedy bastard. Yes, if the enemy has no army, you don't even have to place yours down. See, the Holy Roman Empire is going against Switzerland. So, defensive wars, how do they work? So, you get some units in, and if this was against your own territory, you could not have your allies in. But since I'm helping out a friend, I mean, you'd start on the other side, right? Because you're defending. And it's essentially the same as normal combat, except you can't call in any allies, since it's the enemy who started the battle. So, to puppet an enemy is not to beat them badly, it's to drag out the war, but make sure that you still win. If the war is dragged out but you are losing, they will ask you if you want to be their puppet now. We can demand puppet here. Essentially means that Prussia is under our jurisdiction, which is pretty interesting. However, there is one thing that allies and puppets do not have an advantage over of the 1890, is that if you ally with someone, you cannot invade them anymore. You have to push through them. Which makes sense. You know, say if I want to take these territories here, or like Baja California, like this sort of area here, I couldn't just simply befriend the US and invade from there. I'd have to land in a port, which I think is a much better way of doing it. However, it's slightly more infuriating. That's fine. As you see, the AI will start to do stuff. Okay, no, people stop being friends with my puppet. That's fine. That's not them saying anything or doing anything against you. They just like to do that. So as we can see, no Prussians, but some Italians and some Russians will be going in to fight the Holy Roman Empire. And by fight, I mean not fighting. So, really, if you think about it, the game is very, very simple. Very, very simple. And, oh no, rebellions broke out in the Russian Empire. So you will lose a lot of territory, and it will become wasteland, unfortunately. I would recommend, if you have any seaports, to capture them first, to make sure that the other countries and territories don't take areas. Obviously, the King and the Swedish, and oh fuck, the Americans, they've gone here. How about that? Will reset the meter, which, you know, makes sense. We don't want people to take too much of our territory, though, as it will weaken us. We can do is not puppet the Holy Roman Empire. Okay, not puppet. That makes sense, yeah. So as you see, we've captured the wasteland in a way that, yeah, let's have an alliance. So a thing I like about this game is that usually the AI would not ask you for anything really, other than wars. That was about it. In 1890, they'd only really declare war on you. Whereas now, they can ask for alliances, ask for you to be puppeted, all that shebang. Which is another thing I like about this. This game is more in-depth, which probably makes it look more complicated to people who've never played an SHN game before. Which I understand, you know? Very intimidating, very scary. All you gotta do is just break it down. You just gotta do stuff, man. It's not complicated. It's easy. So, I'm not gonna bore you with any more details. Both you and I want to see what happens when we get to 3 out of 3 rebellions. So we're just gonna do that. Okay, a second one's broken out. This is not good. I've just realised I'm helping two sides on the same exact war. I've leveled up, brilliant. Okay. You know, I will send some aid to Persia. I feel like they need it. Oh, with rebellions it also takes your military. Forgot to mention. So let's see what happens when you lose combat. You lose money, and you lose units whether you win or lose, which is good. That now you're getting punished for losing properly. Or losing a unit. You didn't usually have to worry about that. Mongol Empire's declared war on Persia. I couldn't care less. That's a lot of villagers. I wouldn't recommend getting an army this large. It's usually not worth it. Holy Roman Empire's become... Okay, Switzerland has annexed the Holy Roman Empire. Egypt has annexed Ethiopia. What army have I got now? Okay, a bunch of sad stuff. Yeah. 22. Bit overkill, but you know. Oh yeah, forgot to mention, pirates will arrive at random times. Originally, the whole world would be at war with them, but now this is the country they invaded. They come with a crew. You can be... Oh, you can be at war with them if you want. You can be their friend. It's not up to the game. It's really up to you. The whole game's up to you, really. Oh, I'm now friends with them. And what happens now? Oh, next turn. Next turn. God, this is taking forever. Next turn. Next turn. God's sake. Just let me die. Oh my god. Let me die. Let me die! I don't understand this. I guess you can't hit 3 rebellions then. The game won't let you die. Fair enough, honestly. I guess I'm just not allowed to die then, am I? Couldn't handle this many rebellions, and you just fucking die. So once you die / were erased from history. Very simple, really. You just get to spectate the game. So that's it for me. And today, enjoy.